In honor of second stint Cavalier Mo Williams. Welcome into the 52nd episode of Cleveland Sports Realm. Almost like an annual edition. This is 52nd episode. We've been doing this for basically a calendar year at this point. I am Kevin, alongside is my typical co-host Jerome. To my other side of me is very good friend of the show, avid listener, Matthew Passerell. Fantastic guy, fantastic sports knowledge. He's going to be joining us talking some ball this evening. And, of course, producer Eric is behind the camera. Jerome Passerell, how are we doing this evening as we record Wednesday evening?
We're doing good, and it is Passerell's first appearance ever on the podcast. Yep. So, yeah, he's excited to be here, I believe. Well, he said he is. He'll tell you hopefully in a second. And we brought him in to talk some Cavaliers in a little bit because he is a avid Cavs fan, season ticket holder, so he knows his Cavs and knows ball. Pass, good to have you.
I appreciate it, Jerome. Thanks, Kevin.
Of course.
Thanks for the warm intro here. And, looking forward to discussing some Cavs hoops and, unfortunately, a little Browns, too.
Yeah.
But, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I say we lead off kind of where you left off, Pass. I say we start with the Browns. Let's get the bad out of the way first, and then we can transition into the Cavs talk. Jerome, you were actually in Boston this past weekend, and we're in Foxborough for Browns Patriots. How was the atmosphere there?
Well, I have to tell you, Foxborough's historically been criticized for not having a great football atmosphere, and you thought there would be a little more juice with the Patriots being really hot, and Drake May looking like he's going to be their next stud quarterback. I mean, and the atmosphere there is just not fabulous for football. To be honest with you, it's nothing like Cleveland. And I think it's very much a corporate country club atmosphere at Gillette. You've been there too. And when they say it's in the middle of nowhere, I mean, it is in the middle of nowhere. So it's hard for the true Bostonians to get out there. On the flip side, I went to the Bruins game on Saturday, and that's more like a good sports atmosphere. That's a really good hockey town there in Boston, and they showed it on Saturday as I saw the Bruins and Kevin's Avalanche face off, and the Bruins did get the best of the Avalanche. But no, and that was so much better of an atmosphere. Foxborough's just not a fabulous football atmosphere. Look, they got up for in the second half, they started making a little bit more noise, but it ain't got nothing on the dog pound here back home. So I think the other thing that has to do with that is they just expect so much out of the Pats. And how could you not, when most of the people who are like our age, all they grew up is if they didn't go to the AFC title, it was a failure of a season.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the report from having boots on the ground out there in Massachusetts this weekend.
Yeah, it was very much an interesting game because it felt like the Browns had control of the entire first half, and then they still managed to go into halftime trailing. And that's kind of when I had basically chalked it up that they were going to lose that game. I actually ended up turning off the game about 5 minutes into the fourth quarter, and then ended up going back over to that Bears-Ravens game and finishing that out. But still caught up on the remainder of the game. Afterwards, I just was subject to too much torture throughout those first 2.5 hours. So I decided to switch which game I was watching.
Well, I did the in-person version of that because, real quick, shout out to a guy who's been on the show before, Phil Sprons, for his excellent hospitality out there. Other friend of the show, Kyle Ernie, and I made the trip, and he couldn't have been a better host. But the other thing with that is we did the human in-person version of that because after the Browns had scored the Njoku touchdown, we saw the 2-point conversion in which Fannin attempted to make the one-handed grab. He did not come down with it, and we started heading for the exits there at Gillette. And the other reason why we did that, I mean, we probably would have either way, but again, Foxborough, 45 minutes to an hour from Boston, there's only one train back. And it leaves a half hour after that clock hits zero. And we were like, we're not going to stay, miss the our only way to get back to Boston for garbage. So, Pass, your thoughts on the game too. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I thankfully was not watching a large portion of that game. I was unable to watch further than the point where we missed our field goal. that would have given us a touchdown lead. But yeah, I mean, I was able to catch up on the highlights and such, and check the box scores, all that. And I'm just not a fan of Dylan Gabriel.
Can't stand him.
Getting right into it now, huh?
Yeah, we're going right for the throat.
Yeah.
But
Keep going.
It's unfortunate because I think he is not dealing with ideal circumstances. At the same time, our offensive line is not doing him any favors. Our wide receivers don't get a ton of separation. The play calling is questionable to be very Yeah,
and I think to your point, Pass, just with the receivers not being great and the offensive line not being great, and Dylan Gabriel comes with his own faults. I'm not trying to place blame on everybody but him. He certainly has had a hand in his own failures so far, but when the receiving game's not there, the offensive line play's not there, they're stacking the box, then you can't even get the run game going, and it is so hard to watch this football team when they're on offense, just knowing that even if they somehow manage to muster up a score, there's no way they're going to do it again in a drive or two.
Yeah, I completely agree. And to that point, we've talked about this time and time again. When you are there, you can see things that you can't see on television. I don't care how great the camera views and all that are nowadays. When you are there, you see things. And to your guys' point, our receivers didn't really get much separation. Mike Vrabel showed you all of what he thought in the passing game in the first half when the safety was at max 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. It's not Quinshawn's fault. He's going against a loaded box every time, in which the fact of both of you have pointed that out. The other thing is, I for whatever reason, nobody on God's green earth respects their pass game, and Kevin Stefanski sits there and tries to strike a match on basically an old box of matches that's not going to strike because he insists on passing and passing and passing. And guess what? Not a damn single person in the league respects your pass game. And poor Q has no chance most times because he's getting swallowed up behind the line. And it's not even the offensive line's fault in the run game because when they're sending everybody at you and all-out run blitzes, well, guess what? And the other, you're not going to be able to run. And the other thing is, they were winning. And I know that, I obviously ended up losing by 19 points. They were winning, and they already had decided to go away from the run game. That's a Kevin Stefanski problem. And every week we come on here, not last week because we did our Cavs preview show, and there really was hard. I mean, how can you bitch when they win 31-6? But the previous couple weeks, it's every week we're coming on here, and we got Kevin Stefanski problems. And that leads me to the overall problem, which he's a big piece of it now, guys. And we defended him as long as we could. It's not defendable anymore. He stinks.
Yeah, I've been kind of on that train for the last probably 2 years now. But, I think just his stubbornness and, committing to Dylan Gabriel already, not just saying, we'll give it time throughout the bye, make a decision. I really think that they would benefit from throwing Shador in there. And I don't know that he's going to be, anything great, but I think you can already see that Dylan Gabriel's upside is incredibly limited, and I just don't need to see any more of him. And I really think that, we were told that he was a supercomputer. His processing was incredible. We were advertised that he had a better arm. I mean, he's got a noodle arm. He's under 6 foot, can't see over the line, left-handed. I mean, just like every negative thing that you could have as a quarterback, he has that attribute.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he's horrible.
I think the pick in and of itself just never made sense. And Jerome and I sat here the week after the NFL draft, and we had analyzed just the Browns draft in general. And regardless of whether they took Shador in the 5th round or not, I still don't understand the Dylan Gabriel pick. And I know I've been on here since, late April, early May, kind of defending him because I feel like I have been one of the few people or a small percentage of the city that has kind of defended or at least tried to see the Dylan Gabriel experiment through. And I think it is kind of a lost cause at this point. And Jerome, I did want to touch on, I know you had brought up Vrabel. Did you see what Vrabel said about Stefanski after the game about
I did.
The gimmicky plays? And once those wore off, the Patriots defense, stood in there and was fine. I thought the Patriots defense was fine the entire game. I don't know why Vrabel was just signaling or singling out just the gimmicky plays that they weren't good against. I thought the Patriots defense was fine the entire game. And this is now 2 out of the last 3 or 4 weeks that an opposing team has brought up you mismanaging some facet of the team. Mike Tomlin brought up Andrew Berry, trading away a starting quarterback that you felt high enough to start opening day in division, and then 2-3 weeks later, you've got Mike Vrabel now calling out the head coach of the team that he worked for last year. Mike Vrabel worked for Kevin Stefanski last year. We let him walk right out the front door, and he's calling shots at him. Like, how much does that say about how the NFL actually views the Browns? I mean, we can even look back at some of those, those crappy Hugh Jackson teams when they were 1-15, 0-16. You still had people in the NFL saying to give Hugh Jackson a chance, let him see it through. You're not hearing anything like that with Stefanski right now. And this is a 2-time coach of the year, a guy who's won a playoff game and been to the playoffs twice. Like, the NFL is laughing at the entire organization, and you can see that just based off of what the 2 out of the last 3 head coaches that we faced have said.
Well, also, I could make the argument we've seen it through. It's been 6 years, and what has changed? They insist on throwing the ball everywhere when they don't have the people and pieces to do it. And also, I will give them credit. Like, Stefanski, the 1 ounce of credit I could give him is that first drive. He's like, okay, which I don't understand, because his play calling sometimes at the beginning of the game, it tells you he thinks Gabriel sucks, but then he wants to prove to everybody Gabriel's good halfway through. Like, what was their most successful drive? Gabriel hardly did anything. It was a reverse to Malachi Corley for 25 yards. It was a screen to Njoku. It was, an easy pitch and catch to Fannin, in which he was schemed open and nobody was around him, and he waltzed in for a touchdown. Like, that drive was beautiful, but that's because you didn't ask Dylan to do anything. Anytime you ask Dylan to do anything, he stinks. And I don't mean to get on my high horse about it, but Kevin, did I not sit here in May and say Dylan Gabriel stinks? I've never deviated from it. I've never changed. He stunk. He will continue to stink, and he'll always stink. He is horrible. I got no time for him. I'm done with him. That interception, listen, they lost the game by 19 points, but that interception was so costly in the third quarter. I was livid. Okay, I know you're down 9-7 at halftime. Drake May starts carving you up the first drive of the second half, right? So they get up 16-7, and then the Browns get the ball back. Okay, you drive down the field and at least get a field goal. You're down by less than a touchdown. No, instead, Dylan Gabriel throws it right to Robert Spillane. Of course, it was a 4-yard pass because he can't do anything more than that. Then he finally loads up and throws a deep ball, and it showed us why they don't let him wind up and throw the deep ball. That stunk too. He stinks. I'm sick of him. Please, for the love of God, can you give us Shedeur Sanders? He might give us a chance. I don't know. I mean, I personally have been beating the drum that he's going to be a hell of a quarterback, but I can tell you that one thing. I don't think it could possibly get any worse than this guy. Pastor, you hit it on it. He's got no arm strength. He's got no accuracy. He can't see over this coffee table in front of us. I mean, he's useless, guys. I don't know what to do with the guy. And they're going to start him again? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I think you saw everything that needed to be said out of the Browns by the fact that in the Miami game, they run Wildcat with Judkins. Both times they got inside the 5, didn't even have Gabriel on the field. I think they just don't trust his decision-making, and I think that really says all you need to hear right there, honestly.
The Browns' best win of the year, Dylan Gabriel had nothing to do with. That tells us what we need to know.
He started the game.
He was out there.
He had
got some good cardio
yards.
in. He ran around a little bit from the Dolphins' pass, but he's awful.
I will say, though, this past week against the Patriots was, in my opinion, the only game you look at and you say, okay, he was absolute dog crap. Like the other games, I feel like he played like a backup quarterback would. I mean, this past week, I felt like you were looking at one of the worst quarterback in the league.
Well, I thought the Vikings game he was okay to start, but that's because everybody didn't have take a film on him or anything. As soon as the film's gone out, I think he's progressively gotten worse every week. Like, even last week, like the Pittsburgh game was also, I guess, not. I mean, they dropped him back 58 times, which is just asking for disaster.
It made no sense.
This New England game, they didn't even get down. They were still winning. And what's it say about this team that the best defensive player in football goes for a career best, maybe his best game ever, 5 sacks, and they lose by 19. I mean, that's pathetic. Like, I saw, and that's against a damn good left tackle too, Will Campbell, by the way, who we advocated a draft on this podcast.
Yeah. We never had the opportunity really, but
and shout out to a lot of the other Browns fans, because I'm not saying there was a takeover by any means, but like there was pardon my French, there was a shitload of Browns fans in Foxborough and all around the city of Boston this weekend. And quite frankly, the team doesn't deserve that. Like, we continue like to go to these road games. We're going again down the line and like, for what? They don't do anything. They don't do anything to garner our support, but we just keep going. I'm pretty sure that we go more at this point for a vacation and to get away from Cleveland. Because what? And fuck it, we'll go to the Browns game too. Because why else would we? You know, why else would we be going? But there was a lot of them there, and Noodle Arm did not give us anything to cheer about after the first drive. So
no, and I mean Stefanski already came out and said that he's already calling Dylan Gabriel the starting quarterback for after the bye week. So they got 2 weeks of preparation going into the Jets week. Which, I mean, if you lose to the Jets, I mean,
the Jets just
Jets
beat the
favored.
Bengals.
I know.
And they ran for 250 on the ground.
And Flacco had a hell of a game again.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is like, what did Shedeur Sanders do to Kevin Stefanski that he's doing this? Do you know
he was a 5th round pick?
Do you know what this is? Well, yeah. But
what do you mean? What did he do to him? It's not like they're starting a 3rd round rookie over like a top 5 pick.
Yeah, but you know what this reminds me of?
What 5th round pick in history have you ever seen any fan base advocate for?
The Patriots advocated for Tom Brady, but
6th rounder, and that was after he won a Super Bowl.
No, they
with an injury for sure.
Yeah, but okay, here's the deal. Do you know what this reminds me of? And I said this to the people I attended the game with. This reminds me of last year when Kevin Stefanski went to the podium every week and said Deshaun Watson gives us the best chance to win, when he clearly didn't, and Jameis gave us a way better chance to win. Like, he keeps saying Dylan Gabriel gives us the best chance to win. I mean, I don't know what Shedeur's doing out there at 76 Lou Groza, but it's got to be awful for the fact that if they truly believe, or it's just that they don't want Shedeur. They are, you know, a lot of people nationally are starting to say maybe they don't want him to be good.
Yeah. Well, I actually found a interesting wrinkle that I saw on Twitter this week where it came out that Kevin Stefanski shares an agent with every single one of Dylan Gabriel's college head coaches. So I think
saw that too.
Jerome, I think you told me about that earlier this week. Yeah,
I saw that too.
So I don't know. I mean, your job's on the line, buddy. So you better be willing to get fired over that.
Yeah, and I don't know if it is.
If you're willing to go down with Dylan Gabriel, then you're a moron. That is stupid. But God bless him.
Yeah.
If he's willing to do it, go ahead. It's going to be miserable the rest of the year, and we probably won't win another game.
Yeah.
I mean, we just won by like 3.5 touchdowns.
Because it literally.
Because Tua is horrible.
Yeah, Tua's horrible.
Well, and then the Dolphins went out and blew out.
They did.
Yeah.
Literally, the only way that Kevin Stefanski sticks to the run is when the wind is at 50 miles an hour and it's pouring down rain. Because I was at that game, and it was miserable sitting there in the first half. I know you were there too, Matt. It was brutal, and that was like, okay, if he doesn't run the ball today, he's truly a moron, and he did. They ran the ball 26 times with Quinshawn. Like, then you go to Foxborough, the weather was decent. Like, it was a pretty beautiful day up there, like for fall at the end of October. It was 60, sun was peeking through. It was nice, and as soon as the weather shows a little bit of signs of being good again, you drop Noodle arm back 38 times or whatever it was. And I like, listen, am I being too harsh on the kid? Probably, because I never liked him to begin with, so I'm going to be quick to criticize him. But, like, also at the same time, what reason has he given me to change my opinion? That's goose egg, 0, nothing, hasn't done a thing, sucks.
Yeah, and I think, too, honestly, that he even was worse than he played the first few games. I mean, he had, I think it was 7 turnover-worthy plays in the first 2 games, had 0. I mean, in the Dolphins game, they were dropping picks left and right. They picked one off. They didn't call a flag till after we already touched him down. So, I mean, I think that it's finally catching up to him a little bit. You can only flirt with danger for so long in the NFL before it's going to come back to haunt you.
Yeah, and Jerome and I had touched on it a few weeks ago, but he definitely had, to your turnover-worthy plays, he had a few of them against the Steelers for sure that probably should have been intercepted, and they weren't. But when it comes to the Shedeur Sanders point, like, I don't think it's necessarily anything Shedeur Sanders has done to them. I think it's one of those things where it was, you know how Hugh Jackson did the trust me on this with Cody Kessler? Yeah. I think it's the Kevin Stefanski trust me on this with Dylan Gabriel thing. I mean, we heard from all of these, draft experts, and we can debate on whether they're experts or not. I mean, they had Shedeur Sanders going in the first round for all, and he went in the 5th. Dylan Gabriel they had as like a 5th, 6th round pick. We take him in the 3rd. Some people said he wasn't even worthy of drafting, and we took him in the 3rd round. I think this is them just being as stubborn as it comes. I've talked about this before with Andrew Berry, and now I'm going to say it about Kevin Stefanski because I think this regime in and of itself is just stubborn as hell. Andrew Berry's never been able to realize the state that the team is in. He keeps shelling out a shitload of money to players that are going to be well past their prime when we're actually going to be relevant or potentially be relevant. Stefanski's still starting this sub 6-foot quarterback. I don't know what the right answer is, man. Like, I wish I did. I mean, at some point we're going to see Shedeur Sanders out there this year. I know that for a fact, but like, I just don't know what confidence you have in the 5th rounder being better than the 3rd. Maybe it's the talent evaluation from the front office, because up until this past rookie draft, like, it really hasn't been there when it's come to drafts. So I'm almost at a loss for words with where this team's at, because I do not know where you go from here. You have so much money. You're still paying the albatross until like 2028, 2029. You extended Miles, and I know Miles was all pissed off on the sideline or whatever. Get over it, dude. You requested the trade. You knew exactly what you signed up for when they gave you the contract. And I'm telling you right now, this contract was not Browns specific. I guarantee you, if he would have held out and really demanded that trade and the Browns went through with it, whatever team traded for him would have given him the same exact contract. So, no, you didn't have to sign the dotted line for your $160 million. So him throwing that temper tantrum on the sideline, I thought was a little bit ridiculous. I get you're frustrated. You just had your best game ever, and you still lost by almost 3 touchdowns. I understand why you're frustrated, but also, you know what you signed up for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. I could get his frustration too, though. Like, there's got to be a sense in his mind thinking, like in the back of his mind thinking, I agree with you that anybody would have given him that contract. He's far and away the best defensive player in football. Like, listen, you know how many Patriot fans told me, like, man, it sucks. Miles Garrett's like wasting his career because he's the best defensive player. Like, some people in New England, like, were like the way they talk about Miles Garrett. Like, it's not like a case of us glazing a Cleveland athlete. Like, Miles Garrett is universally respected as the best defensive player in the NFL. In every NFL city except Pittsburgh, where they still think Watt's the best, which is ludicrous, but whatever.
Yeah, Miles has he had 5 sacks, and then T.J. Watt's only had 4 sacks in his last 13 games. Today, so
yeah,
we can put that to bed.
And Miles was going up against like a very good left tackle in the league.
Right.
Now, granted, he's a rookie, but still.
He taught Will Campbell some rookie lessons. On Sunday.
And Will Campbell held his own against other premier pass rushers in this league up until he faced Myles Garrett.
Because Myles Garrett is in a league of his own, sure. He is hands down A1, the best. No one's close to him. Like, the closest I think is probably Parsons, and I still think there's a sizable gap.
I do too,
for sure.
And so I do get Miles' frustration. Like, he's got to be feeling like at some point, like, what can I do? Because you have, like, your point, Kevin, you have 5 sacks and you lose by 19 points. Like, that is, like, I mean, what more?
What else are you going to do?
He couldn't have done anything else. Like, he literally could not have done anything else. And he's universally appreciated and has his rightful spot as number 1, again, in 31 out of 32 NFL cities. The 1-2 hours southwest of us is a little delusional, but that's their problem.
Right.
Or sorry, southeast, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what the answer is, but I do know what I want the answer to be, and that's Sanders. I mean, how could I shy away from it now? I've been sitting here talking about him for April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 7 months, telling everybody how I think he's going to be great, and I still do. I'm not going to change from that. And if I did now, then I'd just be a big liar, and I would lose my credibility. So, again, if he comes out there and stinks, then I'll never evaluate a quarterback again because I think this kid's going to be good. And I've said it time and time again. And from my point of view, I'm watching someone who, like, Passerell's point, Matt's point, oh, yeah, he's such a good mental processor. He's like a computer. Really? Does a mental processor tell it to throw you right to Robert Spillane? Where's the processing at? And his accuracy is disgusting. Like, he's got zero accuracy. And I also, don't think the Browns receivers are any good by any means. But I also will give them this. I don't think that they could see the ball coming because they can't see him over the other side of the line.
I think that might be a stretch.
I mean, he's that short.
I mean, I know what your point is of it. I know, but
the angle probably comes off a little different. I don't know if it's like a huge difference, but it probably does look a little different.
Tom Brady was what, like 5'11", I think.
Yeah,
and he's a Hall of Fame quarter. I think the receivers are fine.
All right, I was trying to defend the guy. Then I'll just go back to what I originally said. He sucks. He's useless.
How about that miss that he had to Isaiah Bond on the blown coverage? That's a walk-in touchdown.
Also, Isaiah Bond's been horrible.
Yeah, he's been.
He had one good game. He played well against the Lions. That I remember. Yeah, dude. The Browns receivers aren't good, and I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody I think they are, but I'm sitting there watching guys get open on Sunday in Foxborough, and Short Shrimp just can't see or find, he just stinks. I don't know. And again, I know Kevin is adamantly against it, but I know, Matt, you're on my side from talking to you before you appeared on this. Can we please just see Sanders? Please.
You'll see him this year, man. Don't worry. I mean, you might have to wait a little bit. He'll start at least 4 games for us this year. I know that's a while away if it only ends up being 4 games, but you'll see him this year. Don't worry.
Yeah. So obviously me, Matt, and myself are big Shador. Big Shador. All right, we know you hate him, but after watching what you watched on Foxborough on Sunday, would you go to him after the bye on the road against the Jets?
I think I would almost open it up to being a quarterback battle for the next week and a half, to be completely honest with you. I wouldn't just announce the change, but I would be okay, you've done nothing to keep your job. This is now an open competition for the next week and a half. And I know that's not something any NFL franchise typically does halfway through the year, but when have the Browns done anything that any other franchise has ever done? They don't. They don't do anything the right way. So at this point, it's and what do you have to lose? You're 2 to 3 losses away already from being out of the playoffs. Already basically eliminated, not mathematically, but you get the point. You're not going to get in at 8 and 9 or worse. At this point, I mean, let's have the open competition. Gabriel, you do not have the starting. You're not our starting quarterback right now. Sanders, you aren't either. Put together a hell of a 1.5 to 2 weeks of practice, and let's see who comes out on top and who's going to start in a week and a half.
I just think Kevin Stefanski, he had a lot of fans in this city, but he's losing them week by week. When you go up there after that guy plays like that in Foxborough and you stand at the podium and say, we're open to every change except the quarterback, you just lost maybe the little bit of supporters you had left.
For sure.
I don't know how you could do that.
Yeah, I don't think that there's necessarily a correct answer right now, but I do think that there's a correct blueprint for them to follow, and I do think that would be turning it over to Shador Sanders, seeing what he has, then you can reevaluate from there. But I think that we've already seen that Dylan Gabriel is incredibly limited in what he's going to be able to provide you. I think at best he's a decent backup. And I would like to at least find out for sure with Shador. I mean, I think that, obviously is a much more prototypical NFL build for a quarterback. He has better accuracy. He's got a better arm. The thing is that, you'll have to see if his processing has gotten up to speed a little bit. I know that he, obviously took a lot of sacks at Colorado, and that's, a valid critique against him. Maybe throw the ball away a little bit more, harm the completion percentage a little bit, but avoid some of the sacks. But anyway, I'd like to at least give him a shot to try that on the professional level and see where it goes from there. And worst case, you're having a high pick, obviously, next year. Could take another quarterback if you need to.
Yeah, and I totally get what you're saying, Pass. I 100% do. And it's very weird right now, too, with these two quarterbacks because they are two completely different quarterbacks. I know, like, the big analysis on Shedeur Sanders coming out was that he played within the rhythm of the offense and that he completes. I personally never saw that at Colorado. I feel like you don't see him like run the ball a lot, but you do see him do the scramble drill pretty frequently, in my opinion. So he's more of like a playmaker, whereas Gabriel's always been like the structure of the offense, quick slant this time, here we're hitting this at this time, and which is what the Stefanski offense is molded to do, or at least what we've been told is molded to do. And it has not benefited him in the slightest.
I also wonder if it goes back to Dylan Gabriel's probably Stefanski's puppet. Like, whatever Stefanski tells him he wants, Gabriel's just going to do. Versus, if you look at Shedeur Sanders, being that he is Deion Sanders' kid, I don't necessarily know that Shedeur Sanders is just going to be like, yes, sir, I'll do it. Like Dylan Gabriel's probably like, oh, yeah, I'll do whatever you need, Kevin. Shedeur Sanders, if he sees a shot deep and Kevin doesn't want it, he's going to take a deep shot. Like, he's going to kind of do what he wants. For sure. And I think that's also goes back to Kevin probably likes having a puppet at quarterback.
Yeah.
And Gabriel will be his perfect puppet and, be a yes man to him. And Sanders is not going to do that. But if it gets you more talent and the offense becomes watchable again, then I don't really care what Kevin Stefanski thinks, because whatever his idea of a successful offense is has been proven to be awful this year. So who cares?
Yeah. I think, honestly, it's kind of what the Browns offense needs right now, a little spark, take a little bit more risks. I mean, we're checking the ball down 5-10 yards or passing behind the line of scrimmage every single time. I mean, the defense, like you've touched on, Kevin and Jerome, is loading up the box, just waiting to stuff Judkins. I mean, how about we get a guy in there who's at least willing to throw the ball 15, 20 yards down the field and open that up a little bit more. And I think you'll even see Quinshawn be better than he's been this year to this point.
Now listen, obviously, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember, and you guys, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I don't remember, besides that one deep shot, which was a horrible throw and an interception, I don't remember him throwing the ball more than 10 yards in the air but once on Sunday.
I wouldn't be able to pinpoint a play either for you, honestly.
Yeah,
that's pathetic. This is the NFL.
I think the one to Bond might have been a little bit further that he whiffed on. Got the late read and threw him out of bounds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so two. It's an NFL offense. I just remember the one that really drove me nuts was, it was 4th and 9, I want to say, and they went for it, 4th and 9 at the Patriots 9-yard line, and Judy did seem to break open in the end zone, and he gave him no shot and threw it to the cameraman like 6 yards out of bounds. And then there was another one that really aggravated me. It was 4th and 15, and he threw the ball 1 yard in the air to Fannin. Thank God that Fannin and Njoku and the running backs are so good after catch. It's the only way they get a first down, guys, because he cannot physically throw the ball 10. I mean, listen, I was really critical of him, but like, for me to say, and this is for me to say, and obviously if you've been a long-time listener, you know how much I've criticized everything he's done. He's worse than I even thought he was. And that's saying something, because I was harsh as hell on him. He's worse than I thought he was.
Yeah, I went to a training camp, and I think it was the one where he completed like 3 passes. I mean, he just looked horrendous. And I remember leaving that thinking, man, like, why are we giving this guy this many first-team reps in practice? And then in the preseason, he looked a little better, and I thought maybe he was working his way into it a little bit. And then I think just any good that he did has really flown out the window. I haven't really seen anything that I was like, all right, that's, a play that an NFL quarterback makes. Like, not many players can make that play. Like, it's just disappointing, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Daryl Ryder, I actually saw that he was on 92.3 earlier this week, absolutely going off about this whole Dylan Gabriel experiment. And I will say he was, ever since he's been reporting on Gabriel in training camp.
He's been even meaner to him than I've been.
He's been like downright cruel about his behavior or about his play, play in practice
the ball
and stuff.
boys quit.
Yeah. And I mean, Daryl Ryder's been spot on about it so far. So, I mean, they're going to give him a couple more weeks, I'm sure, and then. I mean, they are. I mean, they already came out and said you're getting at least one more. I think it's probably going to be 2 to 3, and then if he looks like how he did in Foxborough, I think it'll be rest up time in the next month.
I mean, here's what scares me, right? The Jets are coming off a bye too. The Jets are going to be flying high. They were awful. Justin Fields looked like as good as he did since his rookie year, but that's also against a terrible Bengals defense. Breece Hall is a darn good running back. Like, so the Jets don't have much of an offense, but they have a few weapons. Like, I'm worried that, again, the Browns defense has to be in a mode right now where they feel like as soon as they give up a point, like, oh, man.
Yeah, I mean,
we're done.
I mean, they put up over 30 week one against the Steelers defense that we could only muster, what did we score, 9?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Something horrible.
Some single digits. I mean, we're underdog, I think, by 1.5 points.
And I saw the Jets are favored in that game.
Yeah, I don't know.
And quite frankly, coming off the performance they just had, they should be, because anybody who's watching the Browns, like, it's sickening that we're suffering through this, because last year you watched the Watson offense and it was abysmal, and you thought, man, the offense can't get any worse. It literally can't get any worse. And Dylan Gabriel's figured out how to make it worse.
Who's worse, the Albatross or Dylan?
Oh, man. That is a tough one. Wow.
It's not tough. I mean, Dylan's worse than the Albatross. Come on.
He might be.
He is. But I'm also not in the camp with you thinking that the Albatross was the worst quarterback we've had since '99.
I don't know. These two are they're running neck and neck for it. Watson and Gabriel. You give Gabriel, if Gabriel here's the stat for you. The Jets have 1 turnover all year. How much you want to bet Dylan Gabriel is going to make their season or their
double it
individual game total bigger than their season total? He's got a good chance, too.
Decent chance. Yeah, I think
he'll at least get 1.
Yeah, I think honestly, Jets minus 1.5 is a massive lock. I mean, we haven't won a road game in 13 games. I think there's the potential that they beat us by 2 touchdowns. I mean, I really think that we're just going to get our doors blown off probably, and that's saying something, because obviously, like, we know they're not a good football team.
They're the worst.
Our last road win was in Jacksonville, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
The Albatross tried to throw that game away.
Oh, he tried to lose that one big time. He did.
Hey, you think he's worse than Deshaun Kaiser? Deshaun Kaiser's up there too.
Kaiser was a weird one. I thought Kaiser was a weird one because he slung it, but then he would end the game with like 3 picks every time. He was almost like a Jameis Winston light.
Yeah.
But not nearly as good as Winston, but played similarly.
I don't know.
That interception against the Packers that one year, remember that? He just threw it straight up into the air and overtime. Like,
lost us the game. I was just talking about that game actually earlier today with a coworker of mine.
I honestly, this conversation's sickening. It really is.
We got to end it quick though.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about more negative news for the Browns. The one bright spot on the offense is got a shoulder injury. It's the bye week, so hopefully he's back. Because if not, Dylan Sampson's a nice swing it out, change of pace back. Dylan Sampson's made like Dylan Gabriel negative plays into like 5-yard positives multiple times already. So is Judkins, though, catching out of the backfield. And then Fannin, like I said, he takes like Dylan Gabriel negative passes and turns them into stuff all the time. But they need Judkins. If he's out, I think the line will move even more. honestly, in the Jets' favor.
Yeah.
And then Carson Schlesinger, who's been incredible, had a great interception on Sunday off Drake May, who looks like a superstar in the
That was
making.
one where May kind of threw it right to him, too.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But anywho, he's got out 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. So you want more negative news. Your bright spots, the Andrew Berry draft class that looks so promising.
2 second-round picks, yeah.
May not even be on the field when they make their way to MetLife in the Meadowlands in a few weeks. And I guess the one positive news, they don't play this Sunday. So enjoy watching some real NFL offenses across the league.
Yep.
And don't worry about them. And then just remember that Dylan Gabriel gives them the best chance to win. Morons.
That's right.
All
That's
right.
what I heard.
So let's talk about some positive things. Would you guys like to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I'd like
Let's
to
go.
let them know.
All right.
I don't know, baby.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Rob and I, if you missed it last week, gave you our whole NBA season breakdown. We spent almost close to an hour of the hour and 15 minute episode breaking down the Cavaliers, the NBA, the Eastern Conference in great detail. So if you missed that, go back and check it out. But we bring it in past for this reason tonight to talk about the Cavaliers, and they are 3-1, and opening night loss against the Knicks. But they responded nicely with a win against the team in New York that nobody cares about over there in Brooklyn. They were up by, I want to say, 25 at one point, and they kind of just let their foot off the gas. And it so much so the Nets did take the lead, but then Donovan Mitchell basically looked at the rest of those guys and said, we're not losing in Brooklyn. This is the Browns of football, and we're not going to lose to them.
I think it got cut down to 1. I don't think they ever took the lead back again. It was close, and
Okay.
I think we had a big pass. I think Mobley slipped one to Allen in the paint, got down to 1, and he put that in to put us up 3. And I think we pushed it back from there. But to your point, you'd like to see them be a little bit better with playing with a big lead. I think it happened a lot last year, and they've had a little bit of a trouble, obviously without LeBron, but even with this current team of putting teams away when they take big leads. So I think that's something that I'd like to see them figure out a little bit more this year.
Yeah, 100%. And Mitchell even touched on that in one of his post games. I want to say it was after the Nets game. I could be wrong, but he had said, obviously great game that we played. We were happy to come out of here with the win, but we had a 25-point lead, and we managed to basically give up almost the entire lead. So he's just got to find a way to keep that lead, which, to your point, Pass, they did do that numerous times last year. Jerome, you and I talked about that earlier this week, but they did that multiple times last year. So to see that already, and it's happened twice already this year that they've kind of blown a bigger lead. I mean, they managed to hold on to the win for 2 out of their 3 wins, but they have managed to blow those leads. So, I don't know if it's an Atkinson thing or if it's just a player thing or just a team thing in general, but they do have to figure that out because you start going up against some of the bigger juggernauts in the East and the West, that's not going to fly against those teams.
Well, I did like how they came home and played tough on Sunday at the opener. I assume you were there?
Yes, sir.
I thought I saw that. Yeah. So that game, they came home, got a nice win there, and then what I really liked, though, and you could go ahead and talk about that opener in a second, but I just want to point this out. What I really liked was first back-to-back of the year, they went up to the Pizza Box Arena there and beat the crap out of J.B. Bickerstaff and the Pistons in a nationally televised game on Peacock on Monday. That was great to see. But talk about the opener. How was the atmosphere, all that?
Yeah, it was exciting. It was good to be back. I went to the preseason game against Detroit, so I was there a week or 2 prior, and that was a good crowd too for a preseason game. I think everyone's kind of ready to move on from the Browns, and
how could you not be?
Seriously,
but it was a good crowd. Everyone was waving the towels, of course. Most people still didn't put on the shirt. I know that's kind of a big point of conversation.
I hate that about this city sometimes. That's the one thing they don't do. When you see the Oklahoma City Thunder, their fans wear all the shirts, the atmosphere just looks awesome there with everybody wearing their shirts.
Absolutely.
But I'll let you continue. I apologize.
Yeah,
Pass.
no, you're good, man. I love the conversation. But yeah, so it was good to see. Early on it was a little bit close, and then as we were able to work into the game a little bit, got able to build up a lead to 17, I believe, and then just as they tend to do, I think they get a little bit careless with the ball and maybe a little bit poor with the shot selection at times and lets the other team back into the game. And they start playing at like too quick of a pace, I think. I know it's a point of Kenny Atkinson to push the pace, and a lot of times that works, but I think at a certain point when you hit a lead 15, 20 points, like maybe it's good to slow it down a little bit more, work the offense a little bit, not just, hey, I'm going to throw this pass because I can. Like, let's see if I could, make this tough skip pass, and things like that where they just turn the ball over and they give up a quick 8-0 run in a minute, and just like that, they're, back in a dogfight.
Yeah, I look at that very much from like a football standpoint too, of like when you have a lead like that, like let's start running some clock. Like seriously, let's not give them enough time, and let's not take 5 seconds off the shot clock and hoist a three that, it could go in obviously, but there's also like a 60 to 70% chance it's not going to go down for you. Like, let's run an offense. I love when they slow it down, but you're right. Like, this era of Cavs basketball has not necessarily been a slow it down brand of basketball. So sometimes that can be frustrating to watch too, especially when the missed shots and the turnovers, are as frequent as they can be sometimes.
It gives you those cavalanches that we all love watching.
Oh, yeah.
But then sometimes it does lead to, a quick 10-0 run for the other team and taking a timeout. So, you got to, like we were talking about, just take it a little bit easier when you get up, and not saying just hold the ball and shoot when there's 1 second on the clock, but just like work it a little bit more, get a better look. Be a little bit more cautious in protecting the ball, because when you give up those quick run outs on a fast break, that's when they're able to get back into the game. Just make them, if you're not even going to score, just come down, slow it down, work their half court offense, take more time out of the game, and I think that's a winning formula. But I'm not going to criticize them too much. That is just one thing that I think they can improve on though.
Well, I agree, and absolutely overall, and what was nice to see was they built up that big lead in the third quarter on Monday night in Detroit, and they did not let up. Even when they both got their scrubs in there, the Cavs continued to dominate all the way until the clock hit 0 Monday night. So that was great to see. And then tonight, they are where I just came back from. They're in Boston at the TD Garden, and I think last I checked, they were up by 2.
Okay, last time I saw they were tied at 32. I can pull that score up if you want me to.
Yeah, what the hell, why not?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. As we record, the Cavs are up 1, 39-38. Actually, it is now tied. Celtics made a free throw. For some reason, something tells me they're going to make another one. There's 4 seconds left in the first quarter.
Okay.
That's a lot of points to give up in the first quarter.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be 40-39. But.
So, what's interesting is, and I could throw this if I'm just coming back from there, the Boston fans say that their NBA season's useless. They don't even think their team's going to be good at all.
I wouldn't either if I were them.
I don't think the league has a super high opinion on them.
No,
they'll probably be in the playoffs. They'll sneak into the play-in. Maybe, they'll be right in that play-in area.
They will make the postseason, because in the NBA, if you breathe, you do.
Yeah, the East is pretty terrible. There's definitely some really bad teams that they're going to.
They might get into the playoffs outright. Honestly,
I think they will. I think they might be like a 6-7. They might be a 6 seed.
But so what it comes back to, excuse me, gentlemen, is this comes back to what Rob and I talked about on last week's Cavs preview episode. Is like, it's the Cavs and the Knicks, and everybody else is just getting some cardio in, I think.
I'm still looking at the Magic, wondering what's going to go on there.
Yeah, I think
there's such an X factor in the East this year.
I pointed that out on last week's show. I think the Bucks, you still have to respect just because they have a total superstar in Giannis. And the Pacers are coached by Rick Carlisle, so they'll be okay.
Cavs must have hit a 3 at the end of the first quarter at the buzzer. 42-40 Cavs at the end of the first.
All right.
Yeah, I think just like the rest of the East, not too worried about the Bucks in a series, honestly. As you saw in the playoffs last year, Giannis can only do so much in a 7-game series. He can't win you 4 games against when there's that big of a talent gap. And I don't know, honestly, I'm not like super huge on the Magic. I think Paolo Banchero is a little bit too up and down for me. His shot selection is pretty poor a lot of times, and as evidenced the other night, he took a 30-foot shot with like 10 seconds left in the game, almost airballed it to lose him the game. So I think if he can improve on his shot selection, obviously the talent's there and like the physical attributes are there, but I think Franz Wagner is honestly a better player.
I like
than he
Wagner.
is. I like him a lot.
I like Franz Wagner too. He's on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
I got a question for both of you guys. If you were starting a franchise, are you starting it with Paolo Banchero or Evan Mobley?
Wow.
You know my answer. Evan Mobley by a landslide.
I'm taking Paolo.
Bro, there's a lot of players like Paolo in the NBA.
I don't think there are a ton of players like Paolo.
I think I would take Mobley because you're gonna get.
The defense is just insane.
The defense is great. Don't get me wrong. Obviously,
the gap in that is monstrous, and I don't really. It's.
But Paolo Banchero can hold on to the basketball when he's got it in the paint, man.
Yeah, oh, man.
I'm stirring the pot.
I know that is one thing I would like to see Mobley improve on a little bit. But I mean, honestly, Mobley is a better shooter, I think, than Banchero is. It's very close.
I think Banchero's a better, like overall, like
he's a pure scorer.
No
obviously.
doubt about it, a better offensive player. Yeah. He can run the offense for the Magic if he wants. I mean, he's still got a pretty decent jumper. It's not like Evan Mobley. When we were watching the opening game against the Knicks, like Evan Mobley was hitting everything outside of the 3-point line.
Evan Mobley was he shot excellent that night. I mean, he did struggle sometimes inside, but overall, I thought he was pretty damn good that night.
Yeah, his field goal percentage is a little low to start the year. It's only a 4-game sample size, but I think he's shooting like 43.5% this year, and he's still putting up over 18 a game. And I think if he knocks that number up to 50%,
oh, absolutely.
Last year he was 54%, so you get that average up a little bit, and he's going to be sitting at 20 a game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a front court player like that. That field goal percentage has to be above 50. For sure. Even 55 or above, like has to be if you're a front court player. So I mean, Evan Mobley better get the field goal percentage up. I mean, he's had an okay start to the year too. Like I'm not going to say it's been amazing. I don't think it's been bad, but the field goal percentage definitely has to improve.
I think it's like kind of what you've expected so far. Like maybe minus maybe a little bit more, but I think that'll come. Like we said, there's 78. Or after tonight, there's 77 more of these things, right? Yeah. So, like, he has plenty of time. And,
for sure.
I don't know. We've been talking. What do you mean plenty of time? We've been talking about an Evan Mobley leap for 4 years now.
He took one
last year.
We've had one every year.
We're talking little bunny hops here from year to year. Absolutely.
I thought the leap from 2 years ago to last year was a significant leap.
He put up 18 a game on a team with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, two very ball dominant guards.
That's because for
Jared
some
Allen
reason
still gets his.
Everybody thinks that Evan Mobley has to be the best player on this team, and I don't understand it.
I think best overall when you factor in like defense, but I mean he's not going to be a better offensive talent than Donovan Mitchell.
No, he won't. And I even think when Donovan Mitchell, especially come playoff time, like I think his defense is very underrated. Honestly, like I don't think people give him enough credit for how he jumps in the passing lanes and occasionally gets that swipe out of the opposing team's guard.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell's like ever going to be first team all defense.
Neither do I.
He's no slouch as a defender.
Sure.
No, whereas Darius Garland is an absolute liability sometimes.
Darius Garland's not a good defender.
Right.
I mean, I'll just say it straight up.
Yeah.
He's not good at it.
Right.
And I don't think it's all his fault. He's undersized.
Yeah, he's 6'1".
He's got the Dylan Gabriel, effect going on with his defense there.
Yeah,
that's man. Imagine if he was a few inches taller. I think we already have a ring by now. I think it's just kind of tough.
Really?
Maybe.
If Darius Garland was 6'3", we'd have a ring.
6'5". 6'5".
Oh, 6'5". I mean, I'll hear an argument.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a little tough because Donnie's really proud. Like I've stood next to him. I'm 6'3". I'd say he's probably about 6'1", 6'1 and a half.
Oh man, I don't know.
I think I was noticeably taller than him, like standing next to him, and definitely bigger than Garland. So I don't know. It's a little tough. Like obviously he plays like very big. Mitchell does. I mean he's got great leaps, great hops.
Yeah, his hops are exceptional.
Yeah, he's very strong. Yeah. I mean he obviously goes through people, but like Garland is more of like
quick and twitchy. Yeah, that's just how he plays. Yeah,
it's a great style when it works, but then it leads to him getting like hit in the face more often. Like
that, and also like what Garland, and we haven't seen it this year obviously yet, but what Garland does a lot that drives me. I don't mind when he rides the baseline under the hoop to reset the offense, but I hate when he does that stupid jump and he doesn't know where he's going with the ball and then just throws it away. I'm like, you've been doing this for 6 years now, man. And it's never worked. Yeah, and you're still doing it.
7, right?
You drafted in 19?
Yeah. Let's talk about a couple guys who
seventh year with us, yeah.
who are doing fantastic to start the season, and that is Larry Nance Jr. and Sam Merrill. A lot of people, including myself, question them giving Sam Merrill $10 million guaranteed a year. But
I ripped that contract.
if the guy shoots like this, it's going to be hard to criticize.
Yeah,
I mean,
if he shoots like this, like Max Strus might not have a spot in the rotation.
I think
Seriously.
I think they
Strus
will.
and Allen for LeBron at the deadline.
Oh, God.
I'm just
speaking that into existence.
I will say this though, Merrill, so far this year, like he is shooting so well, and I was watching the game on Monday, and I want to say I can't remember who the commentators were. I know it was Iron Eagle's son was the play-by-play guy, but whoever the
Austin Rivers.
yes,
Yeah,
Austin.
he
Yeah,
had
you're
a really
right.
good
Thank you.
breakdown.
Yeah. Good spot there.
That's why we had him on.
Yep. Austin Rivers, the Pistons defender had given a little bit of space, and Merrill had just splashed it, and he goes, the way this guy started the season, Austin Rivers goes, you don't give him a millimeter of space. He'll bury it every time. And I'm like, is Sam Merrill getting spotlighted on a national broadcast right now? I was impressed with that. And then Larry Nance Jr., Kevin, you and I talked about it the moment they signed him.
We were excited.
This is going to be big. And my brother, Rob, who hosted last week, was not as high on it as I was. But, boy, he's done everything you've wanted him to, and then some so far through the first 4 games and change.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we needed a big that could play decent defense, play decent offense, and was a hustle player, and that's precisely what Larry Nance is.
Well, and the one thing he has added to his game that he did not have last time he was here, he can shoot the tray.
I don't think he was a bad jump shooter when he was here the first. Like, he wasn't what he is now. Like, his shot has obviously developed over the last 4-5 seasons.
I think like the end of his career here was, or end of his time here was right before he started to take a little bit more of a leap. I think he was still like upper 20% from 3, like at the end of his time here.
I believe they said on Monday, what game was I watching? I don't remember but they said he was 38% last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like up there. That's pretty damn good.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm going to need him taking 3 to 4 threes a game.
Yeah.
At that percentage.
Yeah. And he just does all the little things that nobody else
Exactly.
likes to do.
For
He
sure.
jumps in the passing lanes. He slashes. He plays physical. He doesn't have the hops he once did, but he still can get up there with the best
Yeah,
of
no,
all.
I was a huge fan of the signing, and it's worked well through the first 4 games of the year. And hopefully when this records, or when this releases in the morning, as, again, we're recording Wednesday evening, that we're sitting at 4-1, hopefully.
Yeah. And, going to your point about like how excited you guys were, I was so pumped about it too. Like being able to actually have a backup guard, like an NBA quality backup big. I mean, instead of having Tristan Thompson, I mean,
And a fan favorite, too.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, just being able to put him and Mobley on the court at the same time and be able to spread the floor a little bit, I mean, just opens up the driving lanes for Garland and Mitchell that much more. I'm excited to see like some of the lineups that they're going to trot out there once Garland and Strus come back. Specifically Garland, I think some of the additions that they've got too now, like Lonzo Ball and I like Proctor a lot too. And
Proctor's played well.
Yeah,
So
they got
Tyson's
some
played well too.
Yeah,
so far the
for
first
sure.
4 games.
Proctor's impressed me though, particularly.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, they got some bigger guards now. I think they can trot some bigger lineups out there and some more versatile lineups too. So I mean, when you got Allen going into a shell, yeah, exactly. Get another option out there. So no, I'm definitely excited for that, and I'm excited to see Naquan Tomlin too this year at certain points. Like I think
those will be
he'll
garbage
get some
time minutes.
Yeah. It's gonna be nothing like too.
Yeah.
Like if he's in an important situation, it's just because of injuries or something. But I think like his development going forward, he might be a serviceable big like next year.
Yeah, it could potentially be for
The
sure.
Cavs,
I think
the Cavs have done a good job developing people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think to touch on the Larry Nance point, we can wrap that up. But I think what's so awesome about Larry Nance too is the fact that he has developed that jumper and the fact that he can guard, 2 through 5 basically. Like I think, past to your point with the big lineups, I think you can easily put him in at like the 3 in a lot of lineups.
Sure.
And go, Nance, Mobley, Allen. Like who the hell's scoring on that front court?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely
I mean,
agree.
even failing to bring up too, like DeAndre Hunter as well. Like he's a bigger forward. Like now all of a sudden this team that we've looked at that's been so small and doesn't have size, we have size everywhere, quickness in the backcourt. Like they have to go on a run this year. Like to me, I mean, we named the episode after it last week, you and Rob's episode. It is finals or bust for this team. Not necessarily winning it, but like it is finals or bust in terms of you have to get there.
Yeah, and you didn't get a chance to talk about that, and obviously you didn't either, Matt, but we really hammered that point home on last week's episode. If you missed that, go ahead and you could get it on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Yeah. But absolutely, it is. There's no doubt about it. And I know you agree with us because I've had conversations with you, about this plenty of times.
For sure. Yeah, I'm excited to see the new guys and like the added wrinkle that they can bring to the team. Yeah. I didn't like the way that Lonzo Ball played the first couple games, honestly.
Neither did I think he shot like 5 threes in the first 10 minutes. We were like, this is not what we brought you here for.
I was like, this is not what I'm used to watching when I watch Lonzo Ball. I'm used to watching him make smart basketball decisions. Right. A lot of the time that's good passing and
good passing, good rebounding.
And not to be rude, but his 3-point shot looks like a fastball going against the backboard.
It always has too.
Yeah. So I didn't like the way they played the first couple games, but he did play good against Milwaukee, I thought, and he played better against Brooklyn, I think, later in the game too. But I'm excited to see. He's had plenty of examples still this year where he passed guys open. Where right. I think he threw one into Mobley maybe against the Knicks where he just wasn't even looking. He ended up catching it, but
exceptional.
Yeah, exactly. He's just able to put that ball in a spot where the offensive player has to go for it really, and even when they don't know that they're open. So I'm excited to see that, and then a little bit of added scoring maybe with Proctor. Unfortunately, Tyson hasn't played that well to start this year, and I'm not the biggest Tyson fan either, to be honest.
I like Tyson.
He's okay, but his plus minus for the year is pretty bad already, and he just makes a lot of bad plays on defense, bad closeouts, overhelping. That's something that the Cavs do very poorly, I think, is that they like to help and they way overhelp, and it gives up a lot of open looks. And I think that's one thing that they can do to very easily and very quickly improve their defense. We've seen some bad closeouts. The next game, we fouled 4 dudes shooting threes.
Disgusting.
It was just terrible. So I think if they could, kind of control some of their help defense and close out a little bit more under control, that they could improve their defense a lot. And I think really it's just if they're able to do that, I really think they're top 3 defensive team easily. They're already up there, obviously, but at that point, when you're finding ways that you could get better, I think that's just one thing where they can improve a lot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I wanted to touch just one point on the Lonzo Ball point that we were trying to make. Excuse me, is I've seen a lot throughout these first 4 games. A lot of times that Lonzo's thrown the ball what seems directly out of bounds, and in my opinion, that just comes with the more practice, the better that's going to happen. I think there's just the chemistry is just not there yet with him and some of the other players, where he sees an opening, he expects another player to attack that opening, and they don't see it. So I think over time, we'll see throughout the remainder of the season, those plays become less and less, and we'll see a lot more open shots from just the chemistry being developed in practice and throughout the game. So just something that I've noticed that I don't think is a major concern if you happen to be concerned about that right now.
No, I wouldn't be.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any need. And at the event that you so graciously took us to at the public auditorium, Kenny Atkinson, I distinctly remember him saying on the stage, he's never coached a better passer in his time in the NBA than Lonzo Ball. And that's some pretty high praise because this guy's coached Steph Curry and
Kevin Durant,
Kyrie Irving, Jalen Brunson. To name a few. So that kind of tells you they view him pretty damn high.
For sure. Yeah. I'm excited to see how it plays out. And like you said, I think he's just going to have to find, where he fits into the offense. Mm-hmm. Might take a little bit of time. But I think, just bringing him off the bench is such a good thing for the Cavs. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you miss Ty Jerome scoring. Lonzo Ball is clearly not the scorer that Ty Jerome is, but he's a much better defender. And I think that when you get down to April, May, June, hopefully,
you need that defense.
Yeah, I think that the improvement that you get on defense is going to be much greater than the loss that you have on the offensive
100%.
end. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up that portion of the show, the Cavs segment this evening. Let's get into college football, our weekly picks. So what we do here is we try to help you guys win some money and pick some winners and pick some spreads here as we do on every week's episode of the Cleveland Sports Realm. So let's get into that, and we will start with the Ohio State Buckeyes hosting the Penn State Nittany Lions. Ohio State favored by 20.5 at home. I like the Buckeyes to cover. I don't see them having any problems here. Julian saying to me is getting better and better every week. And to talk about all these quarterbacks, maybe I'm being biased as a Buckeye fan. I think Sayan might be the best in the country. And if he was able to come out this year, would be taking over any of these other kids who all seem to be faltering as the season goes along.
Yeah, I think just with with how much of a dumpster fire Penn State is right now, I think Ohio State's going to win and cover pretty easily, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be even close.
Yeah, it's the number one team in the country going up against a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And do you guys agree that Julian's getting better and better every week?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think he looks really damn good.
He puts such good touch on his passes. It's a pleasure to watch him, honestly. I mean, he usually makes the right read, and it definitely helps when you got Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith and some of these guys out there. But I do think that he's putting the ball in a good spot for them to go out there and make plays. And I mean, that's all you could ask your quarterback to do. But he's not even just a game manager, Like he can make the throws, but he can help manage it too. So.
Yeah, he's been very, very impressive. Excuse me.
All right, we try to go through the ranked matchups here. The Texas Longhorns are going to try to hook the Horns are going to try to hook the Vanderbilt Commodores in Austin this Saturday. This is the 20th ranked Texas Longhorns at home, 6-2, hosting Vanderbilt, who comes in with the record at 7-1. They are ranked 9th in the country, and their only loss coming to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Texas laying 2.5 at home. I like Vanderbilt plus 2.5 and to win outright in Texas.
I like Texas to win and cover.
All right.
I think Texas finally gets a big win this year.
Pass?
I think I like Vandy in that one. I think it'll be close, but I think I like Vandy outright in that game too.
All right, so you like Vandy plus 2.5 outright. I like that. I agree with you. All right, and then the last game we're gonna look at here as I try to reload. My phone's acting up. Give me 1 second. Oh, here we go. Saturday night primetime, 7:30. 2 6-2 teams. So this is a huge game because the loser
is out of the playoffs, bro.
Not making the college football playoff if history repeats itself. That's Tennessee. Rocky Top at home against the Boomer Sooners. Oklahoma ranked 18th in the country. Tennessee ranked 14th. Rocky Top's going to be loud. I personally think it's the best atmosphere in college football. They are laying 3.5 at home. I like them to win and cover the 3.5 points at home against the Sooners.
I'm going to pick the same thing, Jerome. I like the Vols to cover and win. And I also agree with you. I think Rocky Top, if it's not the best, it's hands down a top 3 atmosphere in college football, especially in prime time, the night atmosphere.
They need.
Literally a game that they need. Give me the Volunteers.
Matt?
I think I'm going to take Oklahoma in this
no.
one.
All right.
I think I got to go against the grain.
All right.
We can't all agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, it does happen. Well, depending on who you agree with here, we hope that one of us helps you guys win some money this weekend as you place your college football bets. Let's wrap up the show with the odds and ends. The Dodgers and the Blue Jays are tied in the World Series. My dad had made the point to me earlier this week that people don't realize because they are in Canada. Toronto is one of the biggest cities in the world. So this is big market versus big market. Toronto, that extension for Vladdy looks better and better as he hit another 2-run homer last night, helped them tie the game. They played that 18-inning marathon on Monday night.
Freddie Freeman played hero again for them.
Yes, he did. And 2-2, I don't know. I was all Dodgers at the beginning, but I'm starting to not that I was rooting for the Dodgers, but I'm starting to think Toronto might be able to do it. They got the youngster tonight on the mound, Trey Savage, but he's pitched outstanding in these playoffs. How do you guys see this one shaking out?
I picked the Dodgers at the beginning of the year. I've picked them throughout the playoffs. I feel like if I much as if you changed your Shadur Sanders opinion, you'd be a total fraud. So I cannot. I'm still picking the Dodgers, and at this point, I'm going to pick them in 7.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dodgers too. I mean, the Jays they're a fun team. I'm not gonna lie. They're and they can put up runs quick, as we've seen. They had a 9-run inning earlier this series. So I mean, they can just put up runs in a hurry. But I think that the Dodgers starting pitching is still a little bit rested. I don't know. I like Blake Snell to bounce back, I think. And then their bullpen's still a little bit shaky. But I think that Mookie Betts is going to snap out of it at some point. I mean, he's on a cold streak here.
Yeah, you would think.
I think these last couple of games he's going to turn it around. So I like the Dodgers, and I'm going to say 7 games as well. Yeah,
I'm going to go against you guys. I just for show's sake, why not? I'll take the Blue Jays in 7.
Okay.
But
it's a fair opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a very fun World Series so far.
Yeah, I think the Blue Jays take Game 5, and then the Dodgers take the next 2.
In
6
Toronto.
and 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. We'd also like to pass along the news that, and we meant to mention this in the college football, and I oversighted it. Brian Kelly got fired, and as my dad texted me, Kevin, I know you'll appreciate this. Couldn't happen to a better guy, as he up and left Cincinnati, screwed those kids over years ago to go to Notre Dame. Then he does the same thing to the kids at Notre Dame. We said when he was hired, I don't know if we didn't have the show yet, obviously.
Right.
We said when he was hired this was probably going to happen. This guy was never up to the rigors of the SEC.
No.
Don't forget the fact that he kind of got a kid killed at Notre Dame also.
He's not a good guy.
Bad human being.
Yeah, bad guy. So screw you, Brian Kelly. No one on the show feels any bad for you that you were canned. We'd also like to pass along some very sad news. So former Buckeye and New York Jet stalwart, outstanding center Nick Mangold. He was outstanding at Ohio State. He was outstanding for the Jets. I think he should be a Hall of Famer. That's just my opinion. Unfortunately, he's passed away, and he won't be there to see him get the gold jacket live. I saw on Twitter 2 weeks ago that he had been asking for a kidney donor, and he had some rare kidney disease. But usually when people ask for a donor, they at least have a little bit of chance. From the day he made that tweet to ask for a donor, it wasn't even 13 days, and he passed away. So sad to see Nick Mangold at 41 years old.
Unbelievable.
Great Buckeye, great New York Jet. Besides the fact, from all accounts, a wonderful man. I never met the guy, but just sad news that he has passed away. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and you could see the impact that he had just as a person when they had told Rex Ryan. I don't know if either of you two were able to see when they broke the news to Rex Ryan on his Get Up show. I believe it was Get Up.
Yeah,
right?
you told me about this.
He was teary-eyed.
Oh my God, he was damn near sobbing talking about him, and he had mentioned an instance where it was the last game of the season. Rex Ryan knew himself that he was going to get fired, and Nick Mangold was hurt at the time and told him like, "Hey, coach, I'm playing today because I have to play in your last game." And Rex Ryan said that's just the person that Nick Mangold was, and it's obviously 41, just way too young. Very tragic, very tragic. I didn't even realize that I didn't see anything about the tweet in regards to him asking. You said it was a kidney, right?
Yeah.
Asking for help with that, and less than 2 weeks later, it's very tragic, very sad.
Yeah, and I hope that even though he won't be here to see it, I think he deserves it. They better put him in the Hall of Fame this year because he was truly a great center, really was. So, sad news, and I hate that we have to pass that along, honestly. And then finally, the Guardians are down a member of their coaching staff, Craig Albernaz, who was their bench coach 2 years ago, got promoted to their associate manager. He was Stephen Vogt's right-hand man. A lot of you probably don't know who Craig Albernaz is, but every time they do a dugout shot of Vogt, just look to the guy who's chopping sunflower seeds immediately to his right. That was Craig Albernaz.
He's the meme guy.
Yeah.
That throws the seeds on Vogt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was Craig Albernaz. He interviewed for some jobs last year and chose to come back to Cleveland because they gave him a promotion. But he didn't pass up the opportunity twice. He's going to be in Birdland. He's the Orioles manager. Yep. So the Guardians have to find a new bench coach, and knowing them their cheap selves, they'll probably promote some minor league coach. They won't bring anybody else in, but that's the way it'll go with them. And by the way, they better figure out to pay Stephen Vogt, because I saw that John Heyman had tweeted other teams have interest in him, and he's going into his contract year. So, hey, Paul, start rubbing them pennies together. It's time to pay the skipper. That's about all I have to say about that.
All right.
So, anybody have any comments?
No. I guess I'll thank Albernaz for his time here.
I mean,
For sure.
you know,
He was fine.
He was both years he was here. He made the playoffs. So
Yeah,
it's hard
I think
to
I actually think it was a pretty good hire for the Orioles too, especially coming off that down year, to hire somebody from within this organization that manages to basically get
squeeze
anything
blood
out
from
of
a turnip.
Yeah, manage to squeeze blood from a turnip. So
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit of a loss for the Guards, but I think more importantly, they need to go spend some money, as you refer to.
Yeah.
Quit being so cheap.
Yeah,
especially with probably Ortiz and Clase's contracts coming off the books, I would imagine, which I guess we didn't really talk about that too much on this show here, but I think probably wait until after the World Series for them to actually come out with an announcement. I don't think they want to rain on the World Series parade with that.
Yeah,
news,
I would assume so, but
yeah.
by all accounts, I don't think we'll ever see either of them throw a pitch again. Well, Matt, thanks so much for coming here and providing all your insight on the Cavaliers, and then talking
buddy.
some Browns.
You did good.
Yeah, you
Thanks,
did a
man.
great job.
Thanks for having me.
So much so that won't be the last time you sit in that chair. We'll have you
I hope
back.
not.
Love to hear it.
And so we'll have you back sometime. Thanks again for being here. We appreciate it. And then thanks, Derek, for your work over there on the other side of the glass. Make sure to follow us on the social media, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at CLE Sports Realm. And then again, this podcast, as always, and will continue to be, is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And we've made it a year. So for everybody who's been along for the ride with us, we thank you. We hope to give you another year, and then plural after that, years to come. Thanks again. Kevin, any last words?
go Cavs.
All right. That'll be it for us. Take it easy, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for having me, guys.